What's up, spectators? Welcome back to another episode of Professor Layton versus Phoenix Wright, Ace Attorney Phoenix Wright. Okay, where were we? Episode 8, Tavern Tale. Last time we saw, Bell Duke at the Alchemist Place, did a couple puzzles. So let's go to the Tavern. The tale of a certain rainy night. It's not funny this time. One puzzle means one more step on the path to puzzle mastery. Well, I hope you have some comfy shoes ready, because at this rate you're gonna be walking that path forever. And they never explained the relationship between Rouge and Barnum. Never did. The fiercer the adversary, the better, I assure you. That is why... No matter how foolishly difficult this infernal more chalices may be, it will be solved by the hand of Barnum. You sure about that? It looks to me like the hand of Barnum could use a hand of its own right about now, Zacky boy. Tell me, Rouge, how many chalices have I broken since starting this puzzle 3 nights ago? Let's just say, if you take any longer, I'll be having to serve my customers juice out of their own hats. Well, I should make my way back. It seems the storm outside has subsided. A stormy light like this really brings back memories, doesn't it, Zach? Like the time you first set foot into this very tavern. It was a dark and stormy night just like this one. Indeed, it was. I remember you walked through that door soggier than a rat in a river. Open the door! What game was that where I said that a lot? There was a game I let's played, and I said open the door. So often. What was that? Open the door. What game had doors in it? What game had a lot of doors in it? Open the door. It's gonna drive me crazy. Hold your horses, I'm coming. Tavern's closed, you know. You're lucky I'm even opening the door in this storm. I guess this is how they met then. You, aren't you Zacharias Barnum? Please, I require your aid for just a moment. Well, well, what aid could the captain of the knights need from a lowly tavern owner like me? If you think for a second I'm gonna sell out whatever bandit you're after, then you've got another thing coming. Please! They're after us. I asked for but a moment's shelter. After you? Surely you have heard word of the recent witch sighting at the farm on the outskirts of town, have you not? Who hasn't? Word is that witch did quite a number on the farm's chickens and crops. I heard you guys tried to put up a fence to keep him out. A lot of good that did, huh? There were no traces of footprints at the scene. 'Twas surely a witch's handiwork. So, shouldn't you be out there hunting down this supposed witch? That is correct. And so tonight, I finally managed to capture the culprit. You caught the culprit? Yes. This fiend right here. Oh. I give you our witch. The beast cannot be more than a year old. My, he's certainly the tiniest criminal I've ever seen. Quite. Every day this beast has been getting itself into trouble. Honestly, no one would have ever expected this pup could be the one behind those missing chickens. By the way, I've got to ask, what's up with that helmet? I put it on him a short while ago. 'Tis a toy helmet I just happened to have lying around. Let me see if I'm barking up the right tree. This little guy here would hide in the bushes and attack any passing dogs or kids? Indeed. Okay, but there were a lot of chickens and crops that went missing from that farm. Why on earth would this little guy go and take so many? If he was planning on eating them, you'd think one chicken would be more than enough for him. Yes, the beast is still a mere whelp. Every battle is, for him, a terrifying battle of life or death. Until now, the source of the disappearing chickens was a mystery. However, tonight, Our little friend here made a grave error. What kind of error? There was a group of townspeople patrolling the crime scene during the storm tonight. They were under the assumption that the culprit was a witch. Something tells me the pup's little trick didn't go as planned. Yet, he went through with his trick and ended up biting off more than he can chew, so to speak. The townspeople were hungry for a culprit to capture and chased after the mutt. He was thus forced to escape into the forest. He managed to lose them in the forest, with the exception of one. And let me guess, that one was one Zacharias Barnum, right? He truly put forth a valiant effort. Quite clever for the beast that he is. The little guy must have been scared stiff, what with all that armor clattering around after him. I chased him through the forest, before, finally, he grew tired and stopped to rest in a clearing deep within the forest. 'Twas the beast's home. So he ended up smack dab in the middle of enemy territory. Sounds like an impasse if I ever saw one. I'm really not into the story. They're combining the origin story between the dog and Rouge, and it's like this weird, sort of unexciting, I don't know. That was not an option. And why is that? It was because of what I saw there deep within the recesses of that forest. I saw the chickens the beast had taken. His prey was left in a large pile. And yet, there was no hint that he had actually eaten any of them. What do you mean? Curled up among this mountain of chickens lay a much larger dog. It was readily apparent that the beast was already dead. This little one here nestled itself against the larger beast, yet there was no response. I could but gaze upon this whelp in silent admiration for his efforts. I distinctly remember the larger one's appearance. It had a scar above its left eye, a tail that looked as if it were singed by the legendary fire itself, and black and white colored fur. I knew that beast. You did? We had met once before, in town, not a few days prior. I was at the head of the storyteller's parade. That's when, suddenly, a large dog jumped in front of me. It had been chasing the chickens at the farm nearby when it shot forth from the alley. I was caught completely off guard. My horse instantly reeled back in panic, but sadly I was unable to calm it. I failed to keep hold of the reins. There was naught I could do, and so I was thrust from my horse. Oh, I get it now. That must have been the famous Barnum's Wild Ride incident everyone loves talking about. Heard you were dragged all over town. Don't seem any worse for wear, though. You're definitely now the stuff of legends. Unfortunately, the dog that ran into the parade was much more worse for wear. In the chaos that followed, the beast was caught under my horse, trampled and kicked aside. Somehow it managed to drag itself upright, and then limped its way back to the alley and disappeared. Unbelievable. So you mean? Indeed. The dead dog in the forest was the very same dog from the parade. There is no mistake. The beast was mortally wounded at that parade. Alright, so what about the pup? 'Tis only an assumption, but perhaps this little one is the beast's offspring. Oh dear. Since that day, this little one, despite his small stature and fear, would face prey much bigger than himself. When his strength failed him and he could no longer move, he would escape into the forest, all this for the sake of his mother. Day after day, never once realizing that his mother had long since uttered her last breath. If only I had not fallen from my horse. If only I had been able to take control. How could I call myself captain of the knights when I was the one who robbed this little one of his mother? I think this little one was there to witness what I did to his mother. He must be quite aware of my actions that day. What do you mean? While he may still be young, and his stature small, this dog is a true knight of the highest caliber. He protects that which needs protecting, and will ready his fangs at but a moment's notice for many a just cause. That is why I could not simply hand this most valiant knight over to the townsfolk. As we speak, they are braving the storm in search of him. They will likely give up before too long. I ask you, please keep this little one safe here. I beg of you. What exactly do you plan on doing with the pup? This brave little knight stood valiantly in the face of insurmountable odds, all for the sake of protecting one close to him. As such, I will first assign him a most noble name befitting one of such valor. Then, I'll personally see to it that he is welcomed into the Knights of the Inquisition. Oh, he don't want none of that. From where I'm standing, it really doesn't look like this little guy is all too thrilled with you and your plans. You would appear so, but... No doubt about it. He doesn't like you one bit. That's what little guys like this do. They bite. 'Twas my error, but you're in armor. You're completely fine, man. Oh, come on now. You're not even bleeding, you big baby. The big bad knight captain bitten by a cute little pup, like some kind of chew toy. Not the most manly of stories. Nonsense! It was an honor to be chewed on by such an admirable creature. Ever the fast talker, eh, Mr. Knight Captain? Look, give me a minute and I'll get you patched up in no time. Until then, how about you keep yourself entertained with this little puzzle I came up with? Mouse Mayhem 2 should be child's play for a knight like you, Mr. Knight Captain. It's not the cup one, is it? No, no. Oh. It seems some mice have taken up residence in the house. They're particularly fond of the delicious cheese kept there. Tilt the table left, right, up, and down to send the mice sliding across the surface. Slide each of the 5 mice so they end up in traps. Ooh, this is gonna be difficult. The mice will not stop unless they hit an obstacle. Alright. Let's see here. Into the traps, huh? Okay. Let me try, let's see. And slide to the right. Slide up. Slide right. 2 remain. Okay, so let's see. Up. Left. Okay, now I just gotta figure out, this is gonna be a lot easier sending 1 mouse. Okay, up, right. This is a lot like, there was a gym or a cave in Pokemon that was a lot like this. Where you slide on ice, and ever since I did puzzles like those, these always have been pretty easy for me. Done.
I've already seen the answer.
Layton! Get out of here!
Expect
This
no
is
less
Barnum's
from a
puzzle.
gentleman.
Excellent. That's all the mice caught and accounted for. The cheese is safe for another day. I see. My, how fascinating. No doubt this puzzle was originally created quite a while ago, is that correct? Sir Top Hat? Indeed. And a good evening to you, Mr. Barnum. Were you here this whole time? Not at all. I just arrived right now to get a cup of water. But it does seem I've managed to arrive just in time to hear an old story. Anyway, where's the rest of your motley crew gone? Ah yes, Mr. Wright and the others appear to be sound asleep upstairs. They were all enjoying being together again after so long. They must have tired themselves out quite a bit. Alright. Well, glad to hear they're doing fine. By the way, Mr. Barnum. What is it? Perhaps you could tell me how you obtained that scar I see above your left eyebrow. I received this quite some time ago. A most formidable knight gave me this old wound. 'Twas not by his sword, but rather his small fangs that he gave me this injury. Say, Mr. Fancy Hat. Yes, Miss Rouge? That little story you just heard, do me a favor and keep it under that hat of yours, okay? Why, of course, Miss Rouge. However, there is but one condition, and that is... if you would do me the honor of allowing me to take on the puzzle that left Mr. Barnum stumped for 3 days. I speak of... No, these puzzles I'm very bad at, I think. Well, 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 looks like we've got ourselves another challenger. Oh, thank God. Just kidding, I'm really good. I would have done it in one try. Believe you me. Well then, I suppose you'll all have to wait for tomorrow for the next one. So stay tuned for the next episode, and thanks for watching. Bye-bye!